Welcome to part 5 of my Darth Vader Character Analysis. If you haven't seen part 1, 2, 3, or 4 yet, then I highly encourage you to do so. I'll throw up a title card and place a link in the description to it. In today's video, I'll continue my case for Vader as the greatest Star Wars character, looking at his role in Episode 5. So without further ado, let's get into it. Vader acts as the Emperor's guardian and protects him from Luke, and unintentionally protects Luke from himself, not allowing him to go down the same dark path that Anakin did for himself all those years ago. It would be from this point on that the encounter would focus in on the plight of Anakin Skywalker, as the conflict within would be brought to the forefront, leaving both Luke and Vader with a choice.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
In the same way that Luke is the angel on Vader's shoulder, he is essentially his conscience as well. So Palpatine understands that in order to seal Vader's fate even further, he must corrupt Luke, and there would be no one left for Vader to turn to go back to the light. This also causes Luke to be defensive the majority of the fight, as his goal is to awaken Anakin Skywalker, not kill him.
Obi-Wan has taught you well.
I will not fight you, Father.
Vader, of course, gives his son and former master props as he sees that Luke's skills have improved significantly.
You are unwise to lower your defenses.
Where Vader sees this as a weakness, this is Luke's strength, as he does everything in his power to show Vader that his intention truly is not to hurt him. Luke is doing his best to be vulnerable and come from a place of compassion, where having his weapon drawn at all times is simply instigating violence. Also, it's difficult for Vader to understand why his son is acting this way, so he tries to punish him instead and continues to attack him even with his defenses down. For so long he's convinced himself that mercy was a weakness, as the world has never shown him much mercy. So he chooses to attack his son the same way that life has kicked Vader down, not seeing the great strength that gives someone, as his son fights here with a purpose.
Your thoughts betray you, Father. I feel the good in you, the conflict.
There is no conflict.
Once again, Palpatine and even Yoda and Obi-Wan failed to see this conflict, where now Luke does.
You couldn't bring yourself to kill me before, and I don't believe you'll destroy me now.
You underestimate the power of the dark side. If you will not fight, then you will meet your destiny.
Luke continues to chip away at Vader and becomes closer to revealing Anakin. This internal conflict is what Luke will use as his weapon for good. Luke's compassion, similar to his mother, is the thing that allows him to see this good in a man deemed to be unhuman, or more machine, as he's willing to die on the same hill that his mother once had, all in an attempt to bring Anakin back to the light. Vader wants to deny the truth until the bitter end, not realizing that the more he tries to deny it, the more others can see how he truly feels. This conflict within him is stirring, and he answers this with anger, throwing his weapon at his son. Again, fear leading to anger. He's in fear of the possibility of something as simple as regret. The idea that this decision to not only join the dark side but stay with them was a mistake. Afraid of opening up and feeling things as he did as Anakin, afraid of showing compassion and becoming attached, only to be burned for it. The hatred he feels towards himself is at the forefront now, and he fears losing it all once more. Where he once became fear itself by losing everything, now that possibility returns. Anger leading to hate. His self-loathing is unmatched as he assisted in the destruction of the Republic and the Jedi Order, institutions he once fought to serve and uphold. He attempted to kill his master, a man he saw as family. He lost his wife and believed to have killed her and his own children. He served the man that devised his very downfall, and he would be subjugated to being more machine than man in a physical and metaphorical sense for decades. To where ultimately, when he learned of his son, he was sworn to place him down the same path of despair Vader experienced. Sworn to serve the very man he despised. Hate leading to suffering. Vader then tries to turn the tables and generate fear in his son, knowing that it would be the only way to turn him for good.
You cannot hide forever, Luke.
I will not fight you.
Luke chooses to delay the inevitable, as Vader and he are the unstoppable force and the immovable object. They're on a collision course to having Luke come face to face with the dark side, as it would be his final test to truly becoming a Jedi. Vader chooses to instigate further. In a last-ditch effort to corrupt Luke, he allows fear to become the motivator. It's also interesting that in this scene, it's dark surrounding the entire area. Luke tries to use it as an ally, both literally to conceal himself and metaphorically to attack Vader. And Vader roams in the darkness like an old friend. But when he goes too far, ironically, in his anger, Luke pushes him out towards the light. And in the light he can see the shadow he has casted of his wrongdoings, none more highlighted than by the light that is his own son, being a beacon of hope standing up to the devil himself.
Give yourself to the dark side. It is the only way you can save your friends.
Once again, the dark side is painted as a means to do something good, something Vader only believes because Palpatine has drilled it in his mind. Luke, of course, believes otherwise, doing his best to not take the quicker and more seductive route, understanding that it is not stronger and will only come at the cost of inner turmoil, a lie that Vader bought into in order to save his wife, not realizing that where he could have done things for her, he truly became selfish and acted for himself, giving in and placing chains on himself by surrendering to the dark side.
Your thoughts betray you. Your feelings for them are strong, especially for sister.
Luke's feelings are now being thrown in his face and used to manipulate his actions. This ultimately giving Vader the ammunition he needs to lure Luke out and have him succumb to the dark side. His feelings for his friends have always led him to do the right thing. But in this case, where he fears not only to lose them, but lose them to the corruption of the dark side, this is the first time that it's thrown him on the dark path. The same way that Luke can sense the conflict in Vader, so can he in him. And he uses this to his advantage and gains knowledge that can be utilized as power, being the final push that he would need to propel Luke into the abyss, hoping Luke would never come back from it as Anakin never did. This really being a play right out of Palpatine's playbook.
Your feelings have now betrayed her too. Obi-Wan was wise to hide her from me. Now his failure is complete.
With Luke being Obi-Wan's last student and final hope, he's on the precipice of failing his master and everything he stood for. Part of the struggle of being the hero is putting those that you care about in harm's way, and Luke feels that he's the direct cause of it here. There's a satisfied venom in Vader's voice as he says this, as Obi-Wan in his mind has always been the crux of most of his problems in his life. Vader has constantly blamed others, and Obi-Wan was usually the focal point. But now, for the first time, he feels like he can finally get the better of Obi-Wan. No longer could he hold him back, criticize him, or best him in combat. For the first time, he feels as though his master could be exposed for what he always believed him to be: a failure. One who failed the Republic, the Rebels, the Jedi Order, his best friend, and now his final apprentice. As Obi-Wan tried his best to outsmart him, but in the end, Vader feels validated as he has won, being given the ammunition he needs to convert his son and destroy the Rebel Alliance once and for all, and maybe even best his current master in Sidious.
If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
This is the final straw that breaks the camel's back, as Luke will not stand to even think of his worst fears coming true. Vader then uses this ammo that has been given to him and takes a swing that he believes would lead to victory. But this couldn't be further from the truth, as chaos would ensue from that moment on. Once Vader suggests that Leia could be turned, the mere thought angers Luke to the point of where he gives in and attacks Vader with all of his hate, falling into the trap that Palpatine has laid out for him. Luke loses all control and hands the keys over to the dark side, where before he may have had dark moments and made impulsive decisions, in this case, he simply allows the dark side to take over. While this gives him the temporary ability to overwhelm Vader as he goes all out on the offensive, the first time he does the whole battle, and really in either of the fights, it comes at the cost of losing a bit of his humanity. This shown by how he brutally attacks his father that's barely able to defend himself and then disarms him, returning the favor of a scarred body. Vader thought he had him cornered, but he was unprepared for what would come, becoming completely overwhelmed by his son, overcome with rage and a focus like none that he had seen before him. It would be a reflection of himself as he had acted this way before on his path to the dark side. But instead, this time of course he would be on the receiving end of it, barely able to defend himself and on the back foot the whole time. He would be pushed to the brink and would lose his arm, bested once more. And for the first time in a while he would feel vulnerable in combat. And the fear within him would rise, even throwing his hand up barely able to breathe, almost begging for mercy, begging for the very compassion that he ridiculed his son for having moments ago. But it's when he disarms him that the mere image and reminder of Vader's mechanical hand is what snaps him back to reality. Similar to the visions in the cave of his own face behind the helmet, here Luke is shown that he and Vader are not all that different. That right now if he chooses to continue and strike his father down, he will only cement himself on the path to the dark side. Luke looks at his own hand in sheer horror at the idea of what he's done and what he is capable of doing. This was the same lost hand that symbolized the loss of some of his humanity, and now it's the same hand that caused this violence. Ironically for Vader, it's the loss of this hand that would bring some of his humanity back to him. That, and what his son would not only say, but do with his next action.
Good. Your hate has made you powerful. Now, fulfill your destiny. Take your father's place at my side.
Palpatine continues to be the devil whispering evil in Luke's ears, encouraging him to take the final step. But in this moment, Luke realizes that he still has a choice.
Never. I'll never turn to the dark side. You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
So be it, Jedi.
For Vader, this moment strikes a chord with him as it begins to truly unlock Anakin Skywalker. Luke chooses to stop the fighting and shows bravery beyond even Vader's comprehension, throwing away his weapon and therefore his life, all to prove a point to the man that Vader fears too much to act against. He sees his son do this, and on top of that, Luke doubles down and states that he is like his father. In a moment when he could have easily finished the job and taken the easy route with hatred, Luke chooses love, forgiveness, and compassion, which has a profound effect on Vader. He sees that his son forgives him and still believes in him, despite the terrible things that he's done, and he's willing to die by this belief. A compassion and strengthened love Vader hadn't felt since his late wife in Padme. In this moment he sees her. He sees the very type of person he once threw away his life for and sealed his fate by betraying and harming her. So again, history repeats itself, and he sees not only his son, but the son of the person he loved more than anyone or thing he ever had. He made a vow to never let what happened to his mother happen again, and now he may be presented with that opportunity once more, as he would have done anything to save her, his wife, and now his son, who displays the same, if not more sympathetic and caring qualities that the women he loved did as well. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I had a ton of fun making this video, so if you enjoyed it too, then I highly suggest liking the video. And if you want to see more like it, then definitely hit subscribe. And if you want to be notified when the next video comes out, then hit the bell for notifications. Or consider checking out my Patreon, where I'll be uploading videos there significantly sooner than on YouTube. So the next video should be available there as I speak, and the same will apply to the next parts when they come out. And on that note, I want to give a shout out to my patrons. Your support means everything to me. And finally, let me know in the comments which Star Wars character has gone through the greatest redemption arc and why. And who knows, they might be in the next one. Until next time, the Emperor is not as forgiving as I am.